Cranes across Colorado are adding a slew of new skyscrapers to our horizon, and in the process, many longtime Coloradans are being pushed out of their homes.
And one city leader is trying to strike a balance, forcing developers to pay for affordable housing in exchange for taller buildings, but his plan won't protect everyone. Many will still be forced to move, and for the people left behind, they will be dealing with increased parking problems in an already congested area, not to mention hundreds of new neighbors.
And there are a lot of sides and voices to this story. Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski is taking a 360 view of the so-called height incentive and its impact on every city-dwelling Colorado.
The Denver we know and love is changing as more and more cranes fill the skyline. The need for affordable housing is reaching a tipping point.
We're in an affordable housing crisis. And so for all the development that's going on, people want inclusion of affordable units.
Council President Albus Brooks is trying to strike the right balance between what developers want and the city needs, and is using 38th and Blake as his case study for an ambitious idea. His 360 view is simple. If developers want to build higher, they have to add affordable housing.
It's a good compromise of what we're trying to see here in the city of Denver.
Areas zoned for 5 stories could double or even triple in size, but only if developers add 10% affordable housing and at their own cost.
That's the big difference here, is most affordable units in the city helps subsidize. The city's saying, nope, you're on your own, but we're giving you, more height.
The need is a lot greater than that.
It all sounds good, but the 360 view for developers like Kyle Zeppelin, it's not a realistic solution to the growing citywide need.
It's going to take a lot more than these small moves to really address this issue. It's going to take some serious political commitment.
Affordable housing aside, the Colorado natives will cite an obvious downside to taller buildings.
The height of those buildings, in a lot of cases, blocks views, creates shade for all the buildings around it. It's probably too high and out of scale for this neighborhood.
A lot of these apartments, even studio apartments, a lot of them are going for $2,500 a month. How can you make that? How can you do that?
Finding affordable housing in this part of the city was a real challenge for Janae Lesser. While adding more is always good in her mind, there is another trade-off.
Parking could be a real problem.
Councilman Brooks points to the light rail station right across the street as the solution to the added density.
There are minimum parking requirements here. People don't have to overpark because they have a train station nearby.
No matter what the city decides, one thing is clear. The need for affordable housing has never been greater, and whether 38th and Blake fails or succeeds, everyone is watching.
If this is successful, you'll start to see this in communities all over the city.
Now, City Council has already signed off on this idea, and there is a public hearing next week. Now, we know there are a lot of opinions on this story in your community, in your city. We're listening to you, Colorado. If you know someone who is being impacted by these changes, or if you are being impacted, email us at 360@kmgh.com. You can also send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. Shannon and Ann?
All right, Jen, so what else does this proposal address?
That's actually really an interesting part of this, and it's another hot topic. It's actually building design. That's because a lot of people have complained that a lot of the new developments are just ugly, or they're cheap, or they don't fit in the city. Developers tell me this would essentially create requirements for the design in that area around 38th and Blake and really make it so that they have a consistent look.
Interesting view.
Thank you for that 360 view tonight.